everybody, welcome back to Horton's Flower Farm. So today I want to talk to you about zinnias. I want to teach you today how to grow the most beautiful zinnias so that you have blooms all season long. So this is going to be all about from the start to the middle to the end of the season, everything that you need to know about zinnias you're going to know right here. Alright guys, so zinnias are a beautiful flower to grow. I love zinnias because they're big, beautiful blooms, they last all season long, and they have a really nice vase life. So let's get started about the types of zinnias there are to grow. Now, if you grow zinnias already, you know there are different varieties, like some of them grow tall and some of them are a little bit shorter. So when you first order your zinnias, you're going to want to check on the website or where you're getting them from, the back of the seed pack, to make sure that they're the variety you want to grow. Some people want those vase cut flower for bouquets, and some people want shorter border ones. Either way, they're both beautiful. Just make sure you get the right variety. All right, so getting started with zinnias. Zinnias can be grown two different ways. The first way is you can direct seed them. So direct seeding, if you're going to direct seed a zinnia, you want to make sure that the risk of frost has passed. When you plant a zinnia from seed, you want to make sure it's about 1/4 of an inch deep in the soil. And then you want to water it. Now they are drought tolerant, but you want to make sure that you give them enough water. If you're going to start them inside, you can start them in cell packs. You can start them in smaller cell packs of 200 trays, but make sure that you're going to be planting them out roughly 4 weeks after you plant them in, because they do tend to grow pretty quickly and they'll get root bound if you leave them too long in their cell packs. Growing them in a bigger cell pack is great if you're growing on a smaller scale, so that's perfectly fine. So that's what you want to do if you're growing them inside. Okay, so zinnias do best in well-lit areas where you're going to put them out. They can tolerate shade, but typically you want to give them the most light that you can because they really do like that. Okay, so once you're planting your zinnias in, or your seeds or your seedlings, you want to space them out 8 to 12 inches apart. So they do bush out and grow a pretty big plant when they branch out. Even if you don't pinch them, they're going to be very tall, and they might need support too, unless you're planting a lot together, in which they might hold themselves up better. But you want to make sure you are planting them and spacing them accordingly. I also would recommend fertilizing them for nicer, bigger blooms. Fertilizer is great. It's going to help them grow healthier and have bigger blooms and last longer throughout the season. To have continuous flowers throughout the season, make sure you're deadheading them. Deadheading is super important because it's going to tell the plant that it's time to grow a new flower on that branch where one has just died. Okay, so the plant zinnias are susceptible to some pests. They can get thrips. You can spray them with neem oil for things like that. They can get, also neem oil is good for black spots. So if you see black spot on them, you can use neem oil. I actually would use neem oil even before that, because sometimes they're so susceptible that you want to just give them that chance before they get a disease on them. So I would recommend that. Powdery mildew does come at the end of the season, so that is something that is probably going to happen. You'll usually see that 3 weeks, even a month before the end of the season. If they do have powdery mildew, it actually doesn't really affect the flower so much. I had a lot of powdery mildew last year on my farm. It did not look pretty, but the blooms were still blooming really nice. Once you cut the flower, you just pull off the leaves and you'll still have a really nice flower. So that's something you can't really control. It happens a lot. So it's just one of those things that happen with zinnias. But right now I just want to tell you one more thing. I want to give you some great options for zinnias and my favorite ones. So my favorite one that I use is Venere Giant. It has nice large size heads. It's beautiful for bouquets. Color-wise, it's really whatever you prefer. A lot of people like the queen variety. So this is a more like vintage feel. It comes in like red and different colors. So you can look that up, the queen varieties. Johnny Seeds has great varieties there. Oklahomas are a little bit smaller heads for the zinnias, so check those out too. And if you need any more information on how to grow other types of cut flowers, check out my other videos. I'll be making some about cosmos and some even how to grow dahlias from seed. All right guys, I'll see you soon.